And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mozette, and here is your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mozette, and welcome to episode 824, the 8th season finale and Fan Jammy Awards edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as we get ready to close the door on another NFL season. So please put your tray table up and place your seats back in the full upright position. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. Settle in with the desired center beverage of your choice, and what can I tell you? Goats are goats, and little inexperienced goats are just kids. Think about it, won't you? Hey, let's see who's here for this episode. Wow. First, I went deep on the last one.
That was
really deep.
Bad, Moses.
Think about it. First, the yin to my yang from Ariel England is here. It's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Good morning. Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Well, I'm in deep thought. How about you?
Clearly in deep thought. I am wearing Visage pajamas. I am ready for the Fan Jammies.
Oh,
I'm all good to go. Yep,
Excellent.
I'm ready to get out there and meet the paparazzi and press the flesh and all the good stuff. It's good to go.
Fantastic. It's a little spare this year because COVID, but we'll talk about that later. Awesome person here for our finale, of course, is Shadowhawk Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Wonderful, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, okay. Kind of had a weird experience this week, though.
What happened?
Well, I was in Tampa, and this drunk middle-aged guy just stumbled off a boat and fell into me. I had to help him to his car.
Did you recognize him at all? Did he have a name?
No, I don't know. Just kept saying something about screw Belichick. I don't know.
I think that guy was tossing trophies around in the bay there.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
When you got 7 of them, you can, I suppose.
I guess you can. My favorite part is when right before he tosses it, you hear, "Dad, no!
Dad, no!"
That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And hey, look, who else is here for the finale? It's Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hello, how's it going?
Great, how are you?
I'm all right. I've been doing college classes, and I'm just mathed out. It's well known I don't like doing math in the first place.
It is well known, yes.
Yeah, I think last time we talked, I was still working on applied algebra.
Yes.
And I got done with that. And the next class that I've been working on after that is applied probability and statistics. So I'm loving life right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do virtual chats with Dennis so he can help you with the math? Are you gonna
No,
not a bad idea.
Yeah,
He's gonna homeschool you.
Applied mathematics. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Our kids can't plot a line right now, let alone do anything like that. So I'm a little behind on that. Y equals X plus 1. Where do I put the dot? Just put it down! Put it down!
On the paper.
Yeah. So I don't think applied mathematics, I'm quite ready for that. But we're ready for this. This is our season finale, 8th season finale. It is episode 199 of our little
8
show.
seasons.
Yeah.
8 whole
We'll keep trying to get
seasons.
right. And we were talking about having Will said before the show we should shoot Dustin for a cliffhanger and see who shot Dustin.
Yeah.
But, well, first off, we'd probably shoot over his head. But also, I don't think that that's a good idea.
Harsh.
But, when Saturday Night Live, one time, they ended their season, they had a fire, and they were people were running into the fire to save people, and at the end of the season, they didn't know who was actually coming back to be on the show or not. Who died in the fire and who didn't. Yeah.
Well,
It's pretty dark.
It's pretty. I've said that. I think he's gone deep and dark again.
I have.
A long story short, we're going to be burning our houses after this.
After you guys. I'll just bring marshmallows.
The thing is, Dennis, I have a confession to make. My chair is literally on the last threads, I think, as far as the backrest is
number
concerned.
4 coming up.
Any moment now, I could break a chair.
Lovely.
That could be the cliffhanger. Will I survive the fall?
Will Matt break a chair? Well, to get to that cliffhanger, we better get to the show, right? So,
You better be quick.
Yeah, we better hurry. Hurry, Fat Tony, hurry.
Very well. Let's do this thing.
All right, this season finale is running like all our other shows. There are 4 quarters and a halftime. Quarter 1, we're going to talk about Seahawk news. So we have a news report, our 12-minute Fan Jam show news report. But, of course, there's been some news in Seahawk world, so we're going to talk about that. In quarter 2, I'm going to fill everybody in on some Seahawk positivity news. News about 12-Man Fan Jam show Facebook page and what you can expect from us between now and when the Seahawks take the field again in the next about 7 months from now, I guess. At halftime, it is the 8th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Show Awards, or the Fan Jammies, as we like to call them. I hope you're dressed appropriately for that. Quarter 3 will be, we'll review the season, the 2020 Seahawk season. We'll review our disappointments, our surprises, and we'll finish up quarter 4 with our thank yous and goodbyes, but just for the season. We'll be back for our 9th season very, very soon. So before we start, we'd like to remind you to like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. There's going to be a lot of reasons to join coming up in the second quarter we're going to share. Also, we're on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. You can download this podcast, other podcasts, and upcoming outtakes. Yes, upcoming outtakes will be downloaded as well to that channel on YouTube, Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, as well as iTunes and Podbean. So be looking for that. Take us wherever you so desire. And let's get to the first quarter and news. Yes, it's Seahawk news from around the Seattle Seahawk world with our news hound, Shadowhawk Will. This report brought to you by this week's sponsor, the Kansas City Chiefs Offensive Line Barbecue. Yes, Kansas City Chiefs Barbecue, it runs right through you. Hey, Will, what you got for us for the Seahawk news?
Well, Moses, I think we all kind of had the sense that things weren't all sunshine and lollipops in Renton. After the playoff loss, when Russell Wilson took the podium 2 hours late, unwashed, wearing a hoodie, and basically looking like he was as rage drunk as the rest of the fans were at that point.
Yeah.
And that really did turn out to be the case. It started with a news report the morning of Super Bowl Sunday that teams were calling the Seahawks, inquiring as to whether Russell Wilson could be available in a trade. And things just sort of snowballed from there. Reports came out that Wilson was unhappy with the number of sacks he's been taking. I think something like 394 over his 9 seasons.
Something, yes.
Something like that. It's way too high. And then he went on on Dan Patrick's podcast and basically said, I want to be a Seahawk, but I'm tired of getting hit all the time. And if I'm a Seahawk, well, that's up to them, meaning, the coaching staff and the front office. And of course, it is now the off season, which means all that we have to do is spin rumors, and NFL Network, ESPN, every sports pundit out there is looking at Wilson's comments, looking at the team, coming up with more and more ridiculous trade rumors. So basically, it's a safe bet that Russell Wilson is not happy right now. It's a safe bet that he is unlikely to be traded this year. But, what are we going to do? Wilson's tired of getting hit. Wilson takes some of the sacks that he has earned himself from holding on to the ball. But Wilson has a point about the offensive lines that he's played behind over the years. So there are legitimate gripes on both sides. So it's up to the team and Wilson to find their way forward from here.
And I think the Seahawk Nation right now can be summed up. I go to a live report for Seahawk Nation. It's pretty much Seahawk Nation overall. Just mass chaos, confusion, screaming, oh my God, it's over. Oh my God, they're trading him. Oh my God, the world's ending. Hey people, relax. Okay? Just relax. Matt,
Moses, I do want to really quick add
please.
One piece of information to the equation. Just looking back at some of the offensive linemen Russell Wilson has played behind in his career. Michael Bowie, Alvin Bailey, Paul McQuiston, Drew Nowak, Gary Gilliam, Bradley Sowell, Christian Sokoli, George Fant with barely any football experience.
Truth.
Jamarcus freaking Webb. There's probably more, but we're in a pandemic and I'm depressed enough, so I'm not going to think about it anymore.
Ifedi.
Yes. I didn't want to go there, but
I will go there.
You had to go there.
And I will throw this before I throw it to Matt and Dustin here. Jimmy Foreman, who is a great friend of all of ours, and Jimmy put this up on his wall, and I'm sure it's accurate, or Jimmy would not put it up there, so I believe Jimmy. The 9 seasons, the pass blocking rating for our team out of 32, mind you, his whole career, 19, 30, 25, 30, 32, 30, 18, and 30, and 20. That's out of 32 teams, how effective our pass blocking was as a unit. And then he went on to say, 5 seasons at the bottom 3, no seasons in the top half. Meanwhile, Mahomes, 3 for 3 in the top half, his pass blocking offensive line. Rodgers, 12 out of 13 times his pass blocking line has been in the top half. Wilson, 0 of 9. So I'll throw that as well. Matt, was he out of line? Should we trade Russell? Is he in the right? What's going to happen? Oh my God, save me. It's the off season, Matt. I'm going crazy. Help me! Help!
Well, to answer your questions, was he out of line? No, because Russell Wilson's angry that he keeps getting hit. I tell you who else is angry that he keeps getting hit. I am angry that he keeps getting hit. Mm-hmm. It's not necessary, and I think even if at least 100 of those sacks were probably on him for holding onto the ball, but that's because a player's broken down or he's trying to make something happen out of nothing. But yeah, he's quite right to air their concerns, and I think Russell is clever enough. He's an incredibly clever young man. He has not done this, I don't think. The other reports that came after this was, the front office are very angry with Russell Wilson because he's dared to speak about this. Fuck off. I mean, what an absolute load of rubbish that story has got to be from start to finish. Russell Wilson is clever enough not to have done that anyway. He would have absolutely have let people know that of his thoughts behind the scenes as much as in front of the scenes.
Well, and did he say we have to get better?
We have to get better. We have to get better. I have to get better. I mean, he always takes it on himself, and I think he's right. So, look, was he out of line? No. Will he be traded? Absolutely not. I don't think that's at least not this season. And it's definitely not. It's not to come. But I do think we have a struggle here because we do not have the draft picks available to us because of the Adams trade. That means that essentially I don't think it's going to take a lot of Now I know we can often make 15 draft picks come out of nothing because that often seems to happen somehow, but they're going to have to do some of that magic this year if they're going to really address this, because we don't have the draft picks to be able to pick these sort of things up left, right, and centre. We haven't drafted well for an offensive lineman, really because I think Pete Carroll considers that a expense, I suppose, to his run game mentality, which is if he's going to hand the ball off anyway, he's not going to have the ball in his hand long enough to be sacked anyway. So I don't need to worry about a line too much. And I think this is where we're starting to see some of that conflict between Pete Carroll's run mentality, just run the damn ball, and a quarterback's mentality, which is I'd like to try and do some throws again if possible, maybe on first down occasionally. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a deep ball. So I do think there's definitely some tensions there. I do think also, just going on where Russell said about wanting to be more involved in player management and talking about trades and talking about acquisitions and being involved more. That to me is common sense. I mean, why would you not want your quarterback to be involved with the people? I mean,
I agree.
I don't understand why that would be such a pearl-clutching moment for people across the league.
Unless you're in Houston.
Unless you're in Houston. That a quarterback who's paid the money that he's paid, who's in the dead centre, the most important player on the field during your offensive drive, has the audacity to think that he may be worth consulting on players that you want to bring in. I mean, it's just insane. So I think, no, he wasn't out of order. I think he's absolutely right. I think we do have to address the situation. My worry is not him. My worry is more Pete Carroll, because I do think Pete has got himself into this whole, he's regressing. He's going back to this whole run game that he wants to run, and I don't think that's in Russell's playbooks, really.
Thank you, Dustin. Moving forward, the problem is I think that Matt showed as far as collateral, there's not a lot of collateral there, but also we have other issues. As my son pointed out to me at dinner tonight, and I told the guys before the show, little Mo said, Dad, our best pass rusher is a safety. And in the last 5 years, our best pass rusher has been a safety. He said, that's like saying your best pass coverage guy was a nose tackle. It's not supposed to be that. And he's right. So, I mean, we got pass rush issues. We got offensive line issues. So what I'm saying is if they want to address this is not the only area they need to address in this offseason, Dustin, right?
No, it's not. I mean, that's part of the deal, though. There's free agents every year. There's areas of your team you got to work on every year. And I think there's just a lot to unpack with the situation. Going back to what you guys were talking about a second ago. I feel differently about a lot of it than Matt does, as far as so this might be like the military aspect of it for me. You're taught there's a chain of command. There's have an issue with something that's going on, you address it. You try to address it at the lowest level possible. If that doesn't work and it's in somebody else's lane, you go talk to the boss of that lane and let them address it. You don't go over there if you're the guy in charge and try and dictate what happens in somebody else's lane, essentially, right? So I kind of look at it like that with the Seahawks too. To me, that's something that should be handled internally. If they have those discussions, they have those arguments, hash it out, do it there. Don't do it in the media. I understand it's a leverage thing and the agents and stuff kind of promote that kind of thing, but I don't like that way for business to be done, period. And then as far as Russell being a part of personnel decisions, that's not his role. Now I understand that, and I think it would be a great idea, as far as, if nothing else, to keep the cohesiveness and the relationship good. Listen to what he has to say, see what he wants to do, but make it clear that we'll take in the information. We'll listen to what you have to say. That doesn't dictate what we're going to do. That's just going to be part of the equation. As long as he understands that and they understand that, fine. You have to maintain those rules. And then as far as the free agency and whatnot goes, and the offensive line, I think the defense played really well last year towards the end of the season for the most part. Once we got Carlos Dunlap, the pass rush started to come on a little bit. If we can find a way to keep that guy and keep Jamal Adams and keep most of the defense intact, I don't think we're going to have a problem. I think they're going to continue to flourish the longer they're with each other. Now, the offense and what's been happening with Russell Wilson and getting hit so much, I think a big part of that is scheme. And the reason I say that is because we're constantly trying to bomb the ball downfield, which is, feeding off of the play action passes and stuff like that, or the run game and the play actions and whatnot. That takes time. And if you have subpar talent on the offensive line, maybe giving them extra time or having them block for longer than they're capable of isn't such a great idea. So I'm hoping that Waldron comes in, adjusts the offense, gets Russell to dink and dunk a little more, for lack of a better term. You don't have to hit a home run every time, but you need guys to get on base, right? So put those things in motion as far as they did with the Rams. Use that, spread things out, utilize shorter passes, and then take your shots downfield when the defense is right for that situation based on what you want to do. You know what I mean? If you get the ball out of your hand faster, you don't have to have top quality offensive linemen because they're only blocking for a second or two. So,
one thing to mention about Waldron that Ian Rappaport did mention on Dan Patrick's podcast was that Wilson did push for Waldron. That was a guy that he was really banging the table for, and the team listened to him. Mm-hmm. So there is already some communication going back and forth between these guys, and they've shown already that they're willing to consider Wilson's input. But yeah, Dustin's point about scheme is just as important as getting in new players.
Yeah,
because how many games have we watched when we're on defense and we can't get sacks or even real pressure on the quarterback because he's getting the ball out of his hands before we even get close to him.
Right.
So yeah, more scheme guys open quicker, shorter passes, quicker strikes, go up tempo more often, and work with what you have to get the most out of it.
That'll resolve a lot of problems instead of trying to stick to the same old thing.
I agree with the up-tempo side of things, certainly, because we have to mix it up a little bit. It was becoming too predictable, and we've said this ourselves. We've sat in our own game day threads and sat there and said, well, we knew what was coming. So if we knew what was coming, you can damn well sure that those clever defensive people on the other side knew what was coming.
Yeah, a couple things that Dustin said. I don't know. You guys live up there closer than we do. There's been fallout in the press. But has there been official responses from this by any of the administration, like the head coaching or anybody?
Not that I've seen.
Because here's here's the $1 million question. If they haven't responded, how do we know that he didn't say this in front of them and they said, yes, you're absolutely right? To the point that, go out and say that, Russell, we've got your back. You're right. We don't know that. We don't know one way or the other.
We don't.
That's
but
possibility.
They're quiet,
yeah.
But their silence is very reassuring. The fact that they're not rushing to fix this and say, no, wait a minute, Russell. They didn't go to the press. They sat back and let Russell say that. How do we know they didn't already knew that was coming from him?
That's not really their thing, though. You know what I mean? That's not really their thing. They wouldn't. That's not Pete's style. He's not going to after people in the press. Even when you play like crap, he kind of covers you a little bit. He's more of a protect the team kind of guy.
Is there a chance that he has already said this in front of Carroll, and Carroll's been like, "Yeah, you're right.
I think there's a very large chance that's happened, and that's why he was late to his press conference after the Rams game.
Well, right. It's been a month since that happened.
And if
this was some knee-jerk response on Wilson's part,
and that there's
we would have been hearing this
between everybody on this. Yeah, that him and Russell are both saying, "Yeah, we've got to do better. Russell, you got to do better. They've got to do better." You're right.
There's no sense of panic either, because if you look at some other franchises, the Houston Texans and others, not just them, but when things are going down, when things are happening, the Jets are another great example of this. You could feel the actual panic almost within the team is palpable. You can feel it, and you also see that other players start chipping in on social media. You'll start seeing, the buzz takes over itself. None of that has happened here.
None of the players that were addressed by it. Nothing. You're right. You remember a couple years ago when he was going to go to the Giants, and oh my God, Russell was going to go to New York, and Sierra was going to take him out of Seattle because she didn't want to be there, and she wanted to be in New York. And then, like, when the next couple of months, he signed with us that big deal, and then they became part owners of the Seattle Sounders. And I guess my point is, it's just another off-season thing where people are taking a little molehill, and making Mount Everest out of it, in my opinion.
Well, I think all of that's going to calm down now. JJ Watt's decided to walk away from the Houston.
Yeah, right.
There are other things to talk about.
Yeah.
Bottom line, there's probably some friction between Russell Wilson and the front office right now.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
You know what? We all have jobs.
Yep.
We all have friction with our bosses.
Yes.
It comes and it goes until Wilson comes out and says, "I want to be traded." Nothing is unfixable,
and he's not going to.
Until that happens.
And what he's saying is not unreasonable, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not as if he's asking for the moon and the stars. All he's asking is, can I not be hit quite so often? I mean, that feels like a reasonable ask.
I can see Carroll going, Russell, you're 100% right. We've got to be better. You've got to be better. We've all got to be better. I mean, I think they're all in agreement, and actually, that's a good thing to hear from a team. Because I would hate if he came out after we lost in the playoffs to the Rams and go, "Hey, everything's great. We're going to be fine. We'll be back next year, and don't worry about it, everybody." No, we have a big problem.
Like every other previous year, when we lost in the playoffs, and he came out and said, "Hey, the future is bright. I'm looking forward to next year."
Yeah, let's be
and
a
all
little
the fans
bit
are
concerned.
Like, "Damn it!"
Yeah, I'm glad.
I think part of the deal now, and probably why there is some friction, is Russell is probably speaking up more behind the scenes. Because he's very aware that his career is going to be limited, and he's already halfway through it.
Yeah,
so he's running out of chances.
He's 32.
Here.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
he's 32.
He's also a savvy businessman, and he's looking around the league, and he's seeing quarterbacks speaking up, having more leverage than they've had in years past, and he's realizing, okay, I have leverage. I can use this
and do it. I think he should. I applaud him for it. I did.
And the NFL has been empowering players throughout the whole of this year, especially because of COVID, but the other social justice stuff. So I think players feel like they have more power now than they've ever had before, and they're not afraid to use that power. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think whenever an employee has the ability to speak up and say that and speak their mind freely and get results that work, look, he's at the front line. He knows what it's like on the field. I don't. So if he turns around and tells me that this isn't working for him, he's the quarterback. I have to listen to him. I have to sit there and think, well, that's a reasonable argument to make. So.
Absolutely.
I take Dustin's point though about the military thing, and everyone has to do their job. If you just focus on doing your job and doing it well, we will win Super Bowls and etc. But this isn't the military, and I don't think it's going to work quite like that. I think there's going to have to be input from players on all positions, not just quarterback positions, about how they see their future sort of panning out with the team. To be honest, there has to be some dialogue there.
Yeah, I've seen it like that as well, and it's the problem with that is if you get too many too many chefs in the kitchen, it gets hard to get anything accomplished. You have to really, you can let them talk and you can listen to them, but like I said, at the end of the day, you have to let them know, okay, we hear you. That doesn't mean we're going to do what you say.
But I think that's the difference. Is I don't think they're asking you must do what we say. I think they're asking we want to be heard in that room. And I think there's I don't have a problem with them being heard in the room because, as you rightly on the metaphor that you use, you're absolutely right. It's difficult to cook anything, but you need to know what the hell you're going to cook. That's the thing. What people want, what do you want to make? So
lamb chops
all the way, Winsel's. But I do think that there's a need for that dialogue. So I think more power to him. And I think the Seahawks are a well-rounded, intelligent organisation that will listen and adapt and make sure that he is heard and make sure that he feels comfortable, because it's not in their interests at the moment even with the current, they've got no draft picks to pick up Corp. Do you know what I mean? There's no one out there. Would they want Jimmy G? I mean, good God. No. I mean, that was
ridiculous.
This is an awful situation.
That trade proposal is crazy.
Game down.
If ever there was a time not to want to go to the draft to try and find a quarterback to replace a franchise, Super Bowl winning Pro Bowl, no, now is not the time. So the Seahawks really do need to make him happy at least for the next year.
And the happier he is, the more likely he might be to be willing to renegotiate a little bit.
Renegotiate that contract so we can get some online players.
Exactly.
He converts his base salary to signing bonus, gets the same amount of money, and that gives him cap relief.
Yep.
One thing I will say, my local draft expert, which is my 15-year-old son, Little Mo.
Obviously,
little Mo is telling me that, and this is just an aside, and this is probably adding fuel to this fire. That is the offseason, is the fact that this draft class of quarterbacks coming out is very good. Like the first 4 or 5 could go in the first round and could be franchise quarterbacks. And so he's like, Dad, this is the year that everyone's going to want to have a quarterback coming out of this draft. So.
And we have no picks.
Because of that, it just adds fuel to that fire that, if we trade Russell, we'll get all these draft picks, and then we can get a new guy right away, And I think that just makes it even crazier for the offseason, because people are, every time like Deshaun Watson and Garoppolo, that 4-player, 4-team, 15-player draft pick deal that we saw is going on because there are so many good quarterbacks coming out of college that people think maybe there are 4 or 5 guys that are going to be potential, like it's going to be like 1983 all over again, and that year was like Elway, Marino, that kind of stuff coming out of this draft. So, and
this is fixable. What the issues we're facing are entirely fixable at Seattle. They're not beyond.
Absolutely.
They're not beyond repair. Yeah. So, quite frankly, now is not the time to be looking at these up and coming quarterbacks.
It's not. But I think that's why people are kind of stirring.
We'll look at them once the Jets or somebody's broken them or destroyed them, maybe in 5 years' time, and we'll think about it then. But
yeah, exactly. And while we're thinking about that, I think that's a good place to finish this discussion. We'll end the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this 8th season finale of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, halftime Fan Jammy Awards. But next, I'm going to share some 12-Man Fan Jam Show news right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
I feel so much better. It's like I'm surfing on this wave of positivity.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Hey, it's the second quarter of the season finale of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, the show that puts jam in your fan jam. That's right. And in this quarter, I'm going to share some interesting news for the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel and the 12-Man Fan Jam Show podcast and the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page that we're always begging for you to join. Some exciting stuff in the off-season. Now, right now, we have the season finale after the Super Bowl, and because we mark our season finale as the end of the season, which is the weekend after the Super Bowl, and then the Seahawks won't be back until, August probably, but we will still be doing shows. In fact, as I mentioned, this is our 199th episode, which means our next episode will be 200. Our 200th episode. So we'll be having a special 200 episode special, probably coming out in March sometime. It'll have to be before the draft. We'll keep you posted on when and where as they develop on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. I'll be putting little notes on there. Hey guys, looks like we're going to do a show at this time. Kind of keep you up to date on how the show's going when we're not on air. So be looking for that. So a 200 special episode. It'll be something a little different. We're trying to come up with something a little special because we've already done a 100 episode special. When we did 100 episodes, we did a 100 episode special. And if you'd like to see what that's like, I'll be placing that YouTube link on our 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page this week as well. So you can see what our 100th episode special was like. And be looking for that because it had a lot of time of us talking more about how this show first formed, how we met each other, stuff like that. The origins of this show were on the first 100 episodes. We're not going to do that again with the 200 because we've already done it. There are some great moments from halftime trivia on there. From the past, memorable news stories, some great outtakes on there. So check that out. That's pretty interesting. The first 100 episode special, and then we'll have a 200 episode special coming real soon. Now, speaking of outtakes, the season 8 outtakes are being compiled as we speak. Looks like we're going to have about...
There are just so many.
There's so many. We're going to probably have 5 or 6 at least 5 or 6 shows maybe. There are a lot of great outtakes from this videos or audios from this season coming your way very soon. Again, the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page and the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel will be displaying those as soon as they're available. So we love to share our outtakes. They're a lot of fun for me to do. I go through the old footage in between quarters and before the shows and after the shows, try to find some funny stuff that you may not have heard. Some you may have heard, some you may not have. And we'll get those out as soon as probably start kicking those out in a couple weeks. So be looking for those. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page will also be hosting another round of off-season swag giveaways. A couple years ago, we did a summer of swag where every Monday I had some kind of memorabilia or shirt or whatever. And here's how this works. My family, we live in Indiana, and my family's outgrown some Seahawk jerseys, some shirts, some clothes, some memorabilia, whatever, and all kinds of Seahawk-themed goodies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on a show. I'm going to make not a live video, but like a little short video of what is being offered in the package. I'll try to package them together according to size and throw some memorabilia in there. So it'll be like 4 or 5 things. If you want that particular grouping, you simply watch the video on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page, comment below it, I'm in, and then I have a deadline, which will usually on that Friday, I'll close it, and then everyone above where I say it's closed, I'll put your names in a hat and I'll draw randomly, and then I will contact you and say, hey, you won, I need your address so I can mail it to you. It's all for free. It's all stuff the kids have outgrown. It's all been washed. And we'll try
allegedly.
to make it, yeah, allegedly. And I'll try to put it together. I'm going to put it together in sizes. So there's some adults, some children. So be careful because some of it is adults. You might want to say, oh, gee, that might fit adult large or adult extra large. And that's fine. So you might find stuff not just for kids, but for you as well. So I'll put up a video. We'll have it. You'll be automatically entered in that drawing if you're in. It's really just that easy. Then we'll post a live drawing of the swag on that video. And if you win, like I said, we'll contact you. Hey, contact us, or I'll say, send us an email on 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com with your address, and I will send it to you. Just that simple. I hope to have better luck. Poor Jose Rodriguez, a couple years ago we did it, and I sent him something, and it all fell apart. So I don't know if he ever got any of it.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I feel bad for Jose, but we'll try to I'll try to package better. I don't know when I'm going to start that. Probably more towards the summer, probably around May. So be looking for that. Depends on how many different packages I can put together. We're going to have various topics, polls, and games and other fun in store in the off season on that Facebook page. Things like we're going to take a picture, caption the picture, write a funny caption for the picture. What are they saying in this picture? Finish the phrase. I'll give you a phrase. You'll have to finish it. Maybe some top threes will pop out every once in a while. And my favorite is we're going to do a thing where I'm going to ask you what the Google search history would look like for a particular person. Like, what would be on Russell Wilson's Google search history? And
Sierra,
you might put Sierra, places to live in Jacksonville, stuff like that would be funny. And we're going to put all those on there. So, Google search history will be on there. So a lot of fun things on the Facebook page. We're going to try to open it up and make a lot more fun games where you can participate and test your senses of humor, because we want to have a lot of fun this off season. So all kinds of goodies like that. All that coming to your 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. So if you haven't joined our Facebook page, you might want to join soon. It's the off season, but there will be a lot of fun, a lot of swag, and a lot of laughs to keep you occupied while we wait for the Seahawks to get back on the field in 2021. I know the guys are going to participate as well. They don't know this yet, but I'm going to ask them to maybe participate in their own little unique ways during the off season as well. So we'll fill that Facebook page as something that you'll want to come to in the off season as well as the regular season. So that's all I have. It's a lot there, but I just wanted to share that with you all. There's a lot coming up, a lot I want to do with the Facebook page, and a lot of fun I want to have with the Facebook page. So hopefully we'll get a lot of that going this spring into the summer. So with that, I guess we'll take a little break here and go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Oh, we got a lot of show left. We're going to talk about that 2020 season. But coming up next, it is time for the 8th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Award Show, the Fan Jammies, and they are next!
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes! Live from everywhere, I guess. It's the 8th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Award Show. And I'm your Master of Ceremonies, Moses, and we are here to salute another great Seahawks season by taking the best of the very best and giving them a Fan Jammy. So, let's get started, shall we? It's so wonderful to be here, everyone. I'm so glad that I could be here, and the NFL season's finally over, except I think the Chiefs' defense is still getting penalties as they empty out their lockers. Yes! That's what I said. They're emptying out their lockers. Oh, stop. It's not that funny. Maybe it is. Hey, listen, it was a season where a full-contact sport like football was able to survive coronavirus with minimal infections. Well, I guess if you call 700 minimal, I don't know. 700's minimal. Oh, stop it. It's not that funny. And you know, after the Super Bowl, I tell you, Brady and Gronk got another ring. They'll just pawn it for money to eat at the early bird special at the Tampa Denny's, but it's their choice. You know, I don't want to say they're old, but Gronk and Brady are so old.
How old are they?
How old are they? They're so old they won their first game together against the Confederate State All-Star team. Their captain was Jefferson Davis, and Gronk caught a touchdown over Stonewall Jackson, but I'll move on. Gronk and Brady were so old.
How old were they?
Say it! So old, games were canceled in their first season together because of plagues of locusts. They're so old, their first cheerleaders were flapper girls. They were so old, they scrimmaged against Fred Flintstone and Shale U. The Flintstones. Take that. They're so old, their first playbook were the words run and pass chiseled into a tablet in Sanskrit. That's old.
Delivered by Moses.
George Burns was their ball coach. Delivered by Moses. See, they got it. All right. So anyway, I see the posse made it here. I'm glad you guys. I'm glad Maddie's here, everyone. Maddie.
Hello, everyone. I've just come through the photographers, and I've been speaking to Ellen DeGeneres backstage. Well, it's either Ellen or Pete Buttigieg. I'm not sure, but
you're doing great, and you're sitting quite comfortably in a chair. I see.
It's it's still going.
This guy goes through chairs like Andy Reid goes through Big Macs. I'm telling you.
Or vice versa.
Listen, I don't want to say Matt is bad on chairs, but even IKEA has called and asked him not to order anymore. Okay?
Which is fair play, yeah.
It's not him though. It's that damned IKEA. Am I right?
You're absolutely right.
Let's face it. That freaking IKEA, all it is Legos for adults. That's all it is.
True. I mean, bloody Swedes.
Yeah. But Matt, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad your chair's in one place for now. Will's here. Will, it's great to see you. How are you?
Hang on. Pia, we had an agreement.
What's she doing?
Pia Zadora just canceled on us.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Canceled on a Friday night. That's new for you. That's new for you, isn't it, Will?
For the last week, anyway.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's a Friday night for Will. So, I mean, why wouldn't he be here, right? I mean, let's face it. What else would he be doing except giving his cat a bath? Which
in my jammies.
He does. He gives his cat a bath. The cat loves it, too. It's fantastic. Now, sometimes Will does get too much fur stuck in his tongue, but other than that, it's a great experience. I kid Will and his cat. We're glad you're here, Will. Hey, Dustin! Dustin's here. Hi, Dustin!
Hello.
Dustin had eye surgery earlier this season.
I did.
Yeah. Doctor told him 100 times there's no surgery to correct beer goggles, but he wouldn't listen. So he kept going.
It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot.
Dustin works for the Seattle Mariners on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does the X-ray machine. In fact, the Mariners have asked Dustin a lot to use his X-ray machine to look for inside players for talent, but they have no luck yet.
Oh, boo.
But they'll keep going.
Boo.
Hey! I get the Mariners.
I thought you were going to say Dustin works for the Mariners on the side because he's too drunk to stand up.
Oh! Yes! All right.
The beer's not free, even if you work there.
Well, listen, before we start the actual awards, all right, we would like to tell you how the winners were chosen. People from around the world voted on their favorites in each of their categories. The votes were then tabulated, and the list of winners was placed into a sealed envelope. That envelope was then placed in an old empty peanut butter jar and then put into a locked safe. That safe was then placed inside a larger safe and transported to the tiny Republic of Togo and buried in their military ceremony in an unmarked grave. It was then dug up in the middle of the night by a gravedigger named Joe and then flown by private jet to Seattle, Washington and placed at the top of the Space Needle. From there, it was picked up and sent across the country by drone to Seahawk Positivity Productions, where it was then placed by me in a room without windows to sit protected by a 600-pound redneck in a MAGA hat wearing a Confederate flag as a diaper and waving a flag that says Trump 2020. Well, I distracted him.
There's got to be a more practical way to do this.
I distracted him by throwing a box of papers with the label "Uncounted Trump election votes" on it. And as he rambled through it trying to find those votes that were lost, I gently tiptoed in the room, grabbed the envelope, and brought it here with me to the award show. So,
my goodness.
I know, right?
Could have just could you just put it in the safe? Could have put it in the postal service.
Yeah, I mean, UPS works.
As I understand it, nobody touches anything in the American Postal Service.
That's true. It would have been him just there. You got a great point. So let's get the awards going. Our first award for the evening is for Best Offensive Player of the Year. The nominees are DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson. And the Fan Jammy goes to... It's Tyler Lockett!
Yes.
Tyler Lockett.
Good show.
Way to go, Tyler. Unfortunately, Tyler Lockett cannot be with us this evening because COVID. So, here to accept the award on his behalf is Will. Will?
Well, thank you, Moses. And I have chosen to accept this award on Tyler Lockett's home field, namely State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, where he caught nearly a quarter of his passes this year in two games.
Well done.
So.
All right. Congratulations again to Tyler Lockett. And thank you, Will, for accepting. All right. Our next award is for Defensive Player of the Year. The nominees are Jamal Adams, KJ Wright, and Bobby Wagner. And the Fan Jammy goes to... It's Jamal Adams, everybody! Woo. Jamal Adams, unfortunately, Jamal Adams could not be with us this evening because, well, COVID. So here to accept the award on his behalf is Dustin. Dustin!
Yeah, he sent me a little blurb here he wanted me to read. He says, Mr. Dennis, I don't know what this is, but thank you.
Well done! Perfect!
Yep.
Thank you, Dustin. All right. Now it's time for Special Team Player of the Year. The nominees are Nick Ballore, Michael Dixon, Jason Myers. And the Fan Jammy goes to... Oh my gosh, it's Jason Myers, everyone! Woo! Jason Myers. Oh, well, unfortunately, Jason Myers could not be with us this evening because, well, COVID. So here to accept the award on his behalf is Matt. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Moses. Now, yes, as you said, sadly, Jason couldn't be here in person to accept this award due to, well, COVID, and the fact that he is a professional athlete and has absolutely no idea that I or this podcast exists. So instead, I reached out to another famous member of the Myers family, his 62-year-old second cousin, 4 times removed on his dad's side, the Halloween film legend Michael Myers. I FaceTimed him earlier and I asked him, "Hey Michael, thanks for the time. So Jason has been so successful this year, breaking numerous records. Anything you'd like to say to your cousin about setting the field goal percentage for a season in 2020, 100% in 2020? Anything? Well, you have to speak up. Okay, no problem. What about the franchise record for the most touchbacks in a season, 59, set in 2019? Are you on mute, Michael? Okay, what about the most consecutive field goals made? 35. Longest field goal, 61 yards? Nothing to say on that? Oh, that's quite the knife you've got there, Michael. Is that Jamie Lee Curtis in the background? Oh no, I'm going to need to go now, Michael. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, don't write, don't call. Cheers, thanks. Thank you, Michael.
Uh-oh. I think we just lost Matt, everybody.
Matt?
Oh, dear. Okay, well,
not
thanks,
again.
Matt, for sacrificing yourself for the good of
That was
the
a
cause.
close one. Don't go on FaceTime with Hollywood legends. God, they're such divas.
Thank you, Michael Myers, for making a guest appearance. That was pretty awesome. For us, anyway. I know it scared the crap out of Matt, but for us,
Our first celebrity.
Yeah. It was, and finally, we have Game of the Year. Game of the Year is either the Seahawks against the Patriots, the Seahawks against the Vikings, or the Seahawks against the Rams, and your Fan Jammy goes to the Patriots!
Yes.
Yes, the Patriots, everybody. Unfortunately, the Patriots could not be here this evening because, well, COVID. So here to accept the award on their behalf is me, Moses. Thank you, me. You know, I'm sure if Bill Belichick was here, he would mumble something so incoherent that none of us would understand it anyway. But deep down in that dark black hole of a heart he has, I'm sure he would probably thank Cam Newton for wasting a year of his coaching and shattering his Super Bowl dreams. Then he would probably grunt like an old man when he sees a kid scoot across his yard without permission in the springtime and leave the stage. But since he's not here, I will do that for him. So congratulations to the Patriots for being the Game of the Year with the Seahawks. And thank you, Cam Newton, for falling on your ass at the 1 yard line on 4th and goal. Okay. Now, you know, every year here on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, we make predictions, prognostications, and give game balls for each Seahawk game. Then we match our picks from the show with 6 other people in a somewhat friendly competition known all season as the Posse Prediction Challenge.
It's not friendly.
Yeah, we've done this 5 times, and this was the 5th one, and we've lost every one but this year. And this year the battle was between Team Posse, which is myself, Matt, Dustin, Will, and then Chris and Andy, versus Team 12, which was Little Mo, Jose, Mike, Carey, Jimmy, and Mark Ty Turner. And even though we were defending champions this year, Team 12 did regain their overall crown for the 4th time in 5 years as Fan Jam Show Posse Prediction Challenge champions. So, Team 12, congrats to them. They could not be here because, well, COVID.
And we didn't invite them.
And we didn't invite them to Revelation. So, yeah. Not only that, but we also give out an award for the Posse Prediction Challenge overall champion, which this year is called for the first time, called the Tom Lucas Award. So the final points, individual points totals went like this. In 12th place with a score of 19 overall points was Andy Northern Hawk.
Woohoo! Well
I
done.
should call him Canadian Hawk after that, but I won't. In 10th place with 21 points was a tie between Dustin and Maddie. Congratulations, guys. You were 10th out of 12. In 9th place was Mark Ty Turner with 23 points. Mark Ty Turner.
Well done.
Well-known author.
Nice.
And Grammy Award winner. No, not Grammy.
Yes.
What's the TV show one?
Oscar.
Emmy Award winning Mark Ty Turner.
Emmy.
8th place with 25 points was me, Moses. I was 8th place. Away from me. And then in 7th place, and closing out our side of the show was Will with 26. So congratulations, Will. You were 7th.
Well done, Will.
Yeah, the whole posse
Well done for
is
leading the
now
way.
done. In sixth place. In sixth place is Chris, and he was a member of our team, but also sixth place is the highest any of us got. So the top five actually are, okay, you know. And tied for fourth place.
They're all cheaters.
Yeah, and tied for fourth place with 29 points was Kerry and Mike Pascal. Kerry made a nice push there at the end of the year.
Good for you, Kerry.
Yeah. Third place.
I've heard that back, Kerry.
Third place with a score of 31 points is Jimmy Foreman.
Jimmy!
And then second place, it was tied going into the last game. So second place with a score of 32 points was Little Mo. Yeah, hey, we lost to
well done.
We lost to a 15-year-old, everybody.
Again.
Nice, again. Every year.
Which means that Tom Lucas overall champion award this season goes to Josie Rodriguez with 34. Josie, congratulations, Josie.
Congratulations.
I'm just kidding. It's Jose Rodriguez. He has done this to us before, Yeah.
Yes, he has.
But Moses, I will point out again that the only time we won, we immediately sparked a pandemic. So maybe this is for the best.
It's for the best, exactly. Jose did send a message. He said, I humbly accept this award. I'd like to thank everyone who participated. I'll be back next season. Hopefully, I can be like my athletic hero, the late Kobe Bryant, and repeat. So congratulations, Jose. Hopefully that you can repeat as well. Congratulations on that. And he will be sent a certificate with the Tom Lucas certificate for the highest overall champion. All right, finally, we're down to the last award of the evening, and that is a very special award here. You know, most half times of this program are spent with the posse getting their own trivia knowledge tested in a somewhat friendly round of 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Of the world.
Season, we had 22 competitions. We had 22 competitions, and here are how many everyone won over the 8th season. Now, Sarah Colonna, she won halftime trivia.
Yep.
She was on the show twice, and she participated in halftime trivia once and won her one competition.
So going by percentages, she's the winner.
She's
Will.
Yep.
That's only fair.
Yes.
She's 1-on-1.
Will, you won 2 competitions this year.
Woohoo!
Congrats.
Well done.
I'm
That
surprised
means
there was
the
that
other
many.
2, someone won 8, but the person that won 11 out of 22 competitions, dominated during the 8th season. So the 8th season 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia champion
Of the world.
with 11 out of 22 competitions.
Yes!
That's what I thought.
It's Matt from Arizona. Dustin had 8. Matt had 11 out of 22.
I would have had 12 if it wasn't for that pesky comedian.
Oh, no. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Speech.
I'd like to thank all of my fellow contestants for being
Okay, wrap
so
it up, wrap it
terrible. Are you playing me off? Am I getting music?
Louder and louder.
Thank you for being my friends.
All right.
Picture it. Halftime. I win again.
All right. Well, you know what that means. We gave our last award out. It means it's the 8th Annual Fan Jammy Awards are in the books. And what a great group. What a crowd. What a great people. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. Awesome. Great show again. We finished right on time. We'll take a quick little break. We'll get out of our tuxedos and change into something a little less formal. And we'll return with the second half of your season finale 12-man Fan Jam Show next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
All right, it is the third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam Show season finale. Hey, you! Yes, you selling your Russell Wilson jersey. Like, share, subscribe to Seattle Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group for a lot of fun in the offseason. Do it now before the offseason spreads more ridiculous rumors about you. Too late. All right, let's recap the 2020 Seahawks season. The Seahawks go 12-4. They lose in the playoffs to the Rams. Matt, disappointments and surprises. Give us something.
Well, my first surprise is that we had a season at all, to be frankly honest.
Yeah.
Because I was, if you go back, probably back in the show, way back before this, I was predicting that we wouldn't even get probably past week 4 before there'd be a lockdown or whatever, and the whole season would end up being scrapped.
not to interrupt, but we were like the week before. I was like, are we even having a show? Like we didn't even know anything. You're right. Good point. Go ahead.
So completely, from that perspective, I'm totally shocked that we actually got a full season. And I have to say, the way in which the Seahawks managed to avoid any COVID positive cases at all, is testament to the team and props to them. Others had more troubles, obviously. But I mean, you joked in the segment about 700 players in total, or whatever it was, being tested positive. But ultimately, I think for a whole season to be able to be run that in a reasonably COVID safe way, well done NFL. I don't say it very often. Well done NFL. Yeah. Well done. Yep. So that's my sort of pleasant surprise. I suppose my disappointment is the second half of our season. I just think that we, after such a strong start, and also the name change to Lumen Field, that's another disappointment for me.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hate that fucking name.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I just think that we had such a strong start for the year. It was so promising to to go that whole 5-0 and have the get to the week 6 and then lose to the Cardinals, and the whole thing the wheels start to fall off.
Yeah.
And that was really disappointing. And I think that's not the team that I'm used to seeing, really. So that's my disappointment, and that's my surprising.
Very very un-Seahawk like second half of the season. I agree. Will, what do you got?
Well, to piggyback really quick off of Matt, my unofficial prediction was that Seattle would get off to an undefeated start, and then COVID would hit and everything would shut down. So when we were 5-0, I was a little nervous, but no, disappointment.
Things kind of shut down after that for a minute.
Yeah, really.
For the offense.
Yeah, disappointment. I've got to say it's the games that we came out just completely flat. The Giants game. Shaquille Griffin admitted that they really didn't take the Giants that seriously, and they lost because of it.
Yeah.
And then the playoff game, we showed up like it was just another day at the office, and the Rams came to town wanting blood, and they just out-hustled, out-everythinged us. And, it's supposed to be about always compete and always doing your best, and we didn't really do that this year in some key situations. And that was disappointing. Biggest surprise, I'm going to go with a guy that I had completely forgotten was on the team until the week he was activated off of injured reserve. And that would be DJ Reed. He's a guy that, we signed him when the 49ers were trying to sneak him onto their injured reserve list and brought him in. And he made an immediate impact, came out of nowhere, but showed promise as a returner. Took the starting job and kept it despite not fitting what this team usually looks for physically in their cornerbacks.
Right.
This is a guy we got to keep around because this is a guy that brings talent and swagger to that defensive backfield.
And Will, I give you credit all the time, but you were the one who was very excited about that signing.
Well,
there you go.
I was glad to see it worked out.
Yeah, me too. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Dustin, what are your thoughts? A disappointment and a surprise?
Biggest disappointment for me was the inability to adapt to adversity on the football field itself. There's a lot of veteran players in key positions. The coaching staff is supposedly one of the best in the NFL. And when things went bad, they could not figure out a way to right the ship, per se. So that was pretty disappointing on a lot of levels. That's the biggest one for me. But on the flip side, looking at higher management, GM anyways, I feel like the draft class this year was really impressive. There's been several years where we've talked about how the rookies haven't been able to do much. We've had some bad drafts. This year's draft class, damn near all of them were a factor. Almost all of them contributed. And this is in a shortened year where there was no preseason, there was no training camps, and they still had the rookies in there playing and making plays, contributing. So, I mean, hats off to those guys for that.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I agree. I was thinking about Damian Lewis as a surprise for me. Disappointment for me. When your team's defense is historically looking at breaking history as one of the worst ever in passing, that was a massive disappointment in the first half of the season. Seeing all these quarterbacks throw for 400 yards was just, that's just mind-boggling that you can have that many 400-yard passers. That was just so disappointing, and just open all day. I know we were on the Facebook page, the game day thread. I was saying 10-yard pass, first down, 10-yard pass, first down, 10-yard pass, first down. That was just mind-boggling how awfully disappointing the pass defense was in the first half of the season. The biggest surprise for me, the fact that they actually went. You stop and say this team was 12-4, even though they had this historically bad defense the first half of the season. They were 12-4. And they were 5-0 with this really bad defense. That was amazing to me. And as potent as that offense was, and they really did kind of, peter out at the end of the year. But for me, that was a big surprise for me, was just how this team could still succeed with this really bad defense in the first half. But overall, 12-4, they lost to a one-armed quarterback of the Rams. Probably a game that, I tell everybody here, I don't know how you guys feel about it. We haven't really talked about that game, but they really picked a bad time to play one of their worst games of the year, because it was just a really poor effort, and it was a bad time to do it, because you do it in the playoffs, usually bad things happen, and that's exactly what happened. So hopefully they will right the ship, and moving forward, there are a lot of things that need to be signed. We'll be talking about that in the offseason, of course. So any final words on this season before we close it? Book on it? All right.
I like, to be honest, I like that we've come to a point, especially if you've been a long-time Seahawks fan. I'm younger than everybody on here, but I remember a lot of the bad years, probably not as well as you guys do, but a lot of the bad years. And growing up, the Seahawks were not a winning franchise.
Right.
My kids, their entire life, the Seahawks have been a winning franchise, from Mike Holmgren to Pete Carroll. And I love the fact that we get to the point where we're in the playoffs every year, and we have a 12-4 season, and we're to a point as a franchise to where, to us, a lot of people, that's just not good enough. I mean, that's the expectation is set higher. I mean, that just tells me that we've had a lot of success, and I'm happy for that success and thankful for that success. And I hope that continues at an even higher level.
Yeah, me too. I agree. And Lil Mo started watching, that year, that Russell Wilson's rookie year. He kind of started really getting involved in it. So it's nice to see him, see this great. I keep telling him you have no idea what it was like to be the best 8-8 team in the league and be 6-10 and 2-14.
Kelly Stoffer, Dan McGuire,
John
Stan
Freeze.
Gelbaugh, John Freeze.
Stan Gelbaugh still gives me nightmares. Anyway, but yeah, we it's a new era of Seahawk football, and I think we're all very fortunate. To sit here and say 12-4, losing in the playoffs at 12-4, and we're saying, poor us, right?
Trade the quarterback. He's terrible.
Yeah. But, you're right. That is neat that the bar's been set a little high. So hopefully next season will be another great stellar season. So we'll have to see. But before we do that, we have to end this season and end this season finale. So let's go to the fourth quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up next, it's our final goodbyes and thank yous for this season. You're listening to 12-Man Fan Jam Show, where your dreams come true if they involve hearing a lot of Seahawk fans laugh at childish jokes. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Hey, it is the final quarter of the final 8th season show of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. So it's time to take a final look back on this season and give our final thanks for this season before we look forward to doing a whole new season, the 9th season, which will probably be in March sometime. Maddie, I'll give you the floor. Thank yous and goodbyes. Go for it.
Well, I'd like to say goodbye to 2020 entirely, the whole year, quite frankly. I'd like to say goodbye to stadiums with no fans in them. I think the whole point of playing professional sports is to have fans there that can enjoy the game and add to the atmosphere. Get that sort of fan advantage
the experience.
Yeah, indeed. And I think so many new fans have, and fans that were hoping that this could have been their last year to go. Do you know what I mean? And that's been taken away from them. So I'm looking forward to getting goodbye and good riddance to the whole of 2020 season. Quite frankly, we didn't win the Super Bowl, so it's not worth remembering. And goodbye to cardboard cutouts in the stands. They can go. Thoroughly.
They're creepy as hell.
Creepy as all hell. Yeah. And those people who are paying $150 or whatever it was to have your picture taken in a Super Bowl seat or whatever, my goodness, go to a food bank and buy some food for someone.
There you go.
But I think overall, just goodbye to the whole of that. I think thank yous for me. I think you have to thank the team. I think you just have to see. I know they didn't win the Super Bowl, which is the ultimate aim of every team every year. But I think I am thankful, as Dustin rightly said previously, for a team that has struggled in the past, and so many fans, younger fans, do not understand and do not know, the 20 way back wins. Do you know what I mean? They don't know those days. They don't know the terrible moments of just losing over and over again. So thank you for that. Thank you for and thank you to you guys as well for being posse members, to being part of the show. Thank you to Dennis for running this, because I think you do a fantastic job. We don't say it enough, but you absolutely do. And thank you as well, Dennis, for being my friend over the last year when I've been going through a few physical, personal, dietary changes, and you've been my little supportive helper. So I want to say a big thank you to you. You inspire me, man. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you, Will.
Well, I remember after that playoff game, and everyone was upset and angry and miserable, and I was too. But then I just couldn't help but sit back and think, you know what? We had a football season, and I didn't get to go any games this year. It's first time since 1998 I have not been to a single Seahawks game, but I still got to watch them play, and I still got to talk about games with you guys and some of my other friends. I still got to watch games with people, being careful, obviously. And I remember last summer when baseball was starting up and hockey was starting up, and then into September, the first week of football, and I just remember sitting there watching it. And it's like, you get in a situation like this stupid pandemic, and it goes on forever and ever, and you just want to feel normal again. And getting to watch sports again made me feel normal again, just for a little while. I mean, there's still got all the other stuff happening, but I could sit down and turn on the TV and watch a football game. And I'm just thankful that they made it work. I'm thankful we had a whole football season. And it was worth all the bad things that happened in this season, because there was a lot of good stuff that happened too. So yeah. I'm very thankful for that. And I'm thankful for all of you guys as well, that I can come in on and talk Seahawks and not have it devolve into the darkest parts of Seahawks Twitter. Just all the bare knuckle brawls and the guise of discussions and all the histrionics and whatnot. Just it's like you've always said, Moses. It's more SNL than ESPN. It's just a couple guys sitting around shooting the breeze about football, and I'm thankful for that. And Moses, I'm thankful for all the work that you put into this week after week, year after year. I'm thankful that people actually listen, both of them, and or follow along. And I'm thankful for our little community on Facebook. We just got some fun people in there, and I've met some fun people. So we do. All the best parts about being a Seahawk fan and being a ticket holder and getting to go to games when we get to go to games again. The games are fun, but it's the people you meet along the way. So
agreed. Beautifully said, Dustin.
Thankful that not thankful for last year necessarily. Last year was pretty rough. It was hard on everybody. A lot of bad things happened. It was an adjustment for everybody. I'm thankful that there was a place where I get together with friends and have an outlet and just take my mind off of everything else that you see, like where I work and what we deal with, and just have fun and relax, not have to worry about anything else, be myself and enjoy the company of my friends. So doing this in the pandemic, monthly, like we do in the off season, and then during the football season, it was a great outlet. It was really good stress relief. So I'm thankful for that. For you guys, and I guess call you the posse or my friends or however we want to say that, that's like that. Thankful for the listeners. It's fun we have people that interact and they jump on the Facebook page and they interact and they have fun, and I don't know why, but they seem to enjoy what we do. So, that's kind of a rarity. I never thought that would actually happen. I just thought we'd get together, we'd talk football, and it would be fun, and that'd be that. And then, people started listening.
Yep.
I appreciate that. And, I'm thankful all you guys are there and enjoying it. Thankful that Sarah came on.
Absolutely.
She came out and
twice.
Twice. She proved to be, just awesome. She's like
and John Ryan.
Everything you could have ever hoped for and more.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's one of those things where, and I know Dennis was a huge fan of hers. And you worry. It's one of those things where like you meet your heroes and you're disappointed type situation. Sure. But no, she came right in. She fit right in like for years.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was amazing.
And for all you people listening, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. For a couple weeks after that, Moses was just like a kid on Christmas. Like, I can't believe Sarah Colonna was on our little show.
And that she came on and it was a perfect fit. That was the best part.
Yeah, which was awesome. That's why I got her on a second time. Is I knew we were approaching that 200th episode. I was trying to do something cool for that.
That's awesome.
She was all for it.
Disappointed because
like, I would definitely come back again.
I was disappointed because I want to speak to your brother in New Zealand. So I was disappointed.
That's right. Yeah, that was really cool of her, and then letting John. That was really awesome. Kind of a once in a lifetime experience for us. So that was great. And then as far as goodbyes for this year, I really think there's only one that really needs to be said for me, anyways, and it's Tom Lucas.
Yeah.
That was a big loss to our family here, and we're gonna miss Tom. And love you, man. Sorry you're not with us anymore.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, it has been quite an amazing season. I mean, we had a real life Super Bowl champion, a professional comedian. Sarah Colonna and John Ryan spent time with us, and it felt like talking to everybody else on here. They felt just like everyone else, which was exciting for all of us, I think. I want to thank everyone and anyone who ever listens to this show. We truly love making it. We do not get paid for this, and
surprisingly,
we try to be amusing and informative. And if you've ever smiled or grinned, thank you. And if we've offended, we apologize.
Well, I thank you also for that.
Yeah.
I thank you for that.
You were listening.
Yeah, I want to thank the family and friends for supporting our silly little show and our Facebook page. It's truly amazing how this little idea has grown into where it is now. Last but not least, to all of my posse, my brothers, what can I say? Without you guys, there is no 12-Man Fan Jam show. I am forever in your debt for everything you bring to not only this show, but to my life. I love all of you, and we look forward towards our 200th episode special in our 9th season. I'm excited for another season of Seahawk football and another great season of sharing it here on the 12-Man Fan Jam show. And, well, guess it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-Man Fan Jam season to a sad close. We're so glad you decided to waste some time with us this year, and we certainly hope you laughed a little, and we learned a little something this season, didn't we? What did we learn? Well, we learned Will has a pet dolphin in a tub. I don't know where the dolphin went, but it's still there. It's still there! We learned that calling out Cleveland
Don't tell my landlord.
I won't. Calling out Cleveland Brown fans is racist, supposedly. Antonio Brown will no longer be sending Will Christmas cards. I think we all know why. Jaquiski tarts are delicious. Will likes the Will-splain things. I love that.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Dustin had a birthday once. It happened.
I remember I had that birthday that time.
It was about 40 years ago.
I remember it because I had a birthday that year.
Hey, we learned beast mode. Beast mode made Matt fall off his sofa. I love that one. Like Lady Gaga, you just flew off.
And everyone's like, what the hell?
We learned Rudy is a great name for a cat if he's a prick. That's from John Ryan.
That's right.
DK Moore is a great Seahawk wide receiver.
One of the best.
Dustin has this wonderful Uber to Portland, supposedly.
Opposing quarterbacks are named Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Will. We learned that Matt has a very strange advent calendar.
Oh dear.
Video games are getting way too much in detail.
Goodness, yeah.
Still playing that.
Dustin can win halftime trivia without paying attention to any questions. Sam Darnold. We learned that Sam Darnold has a cousin named Jeff, and every NFL quarterback in the world has a cousin named Jeff. Who knew? And finally,
insider knowledge you get here.
We learned that I have lost an elephant penis. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt,
I hope you find it, man. You could probably sell that for a lot on the
black
market.
Don't want to find it. You said that last time, and I still don't want to find it. Our Newshouse Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark wherever he is, Dustin as the Beaver, Roger Goodell, Mozette, Little Mo, Mike Pascal, Mark, Ty, Turner, Jose, Carrie, Jimmy, Chris, Andy Northern Hawk, Kona, Sarah Colonna, John Ryan. This is Moses saying until next season, as always, go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Hawks!
Go Hawks!
It's time for the buffet now.
Yes, let's go to the buffet.
Where's the after party?
In my pants.
Oh my.